This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 13116 Haas Avenue, Gardena, California, 90249. Today is January 6, 2023. We're performing a video waste and sewer line inspection through a 3-inch ABS waste line cleanout located on the left-hand side of the house, just inside a little vent space on the left-hand side of the house. And this goes out towards the rear of our property. This goes out towards the front of our property. Clean our camera lens. Towards the front of our property, and this is our 3-inch ABS waste line clean out here. So we're going to zero out at the top of the clean out. And we're just going to drop down and begin our video waste and sewer line inspection. So it does appear to be black ABS waste line, immediately transitions into what appears to be cast iron waste line. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. Cast iron waste line does appear to have some buildup and some scaling throughout. And as we push out, we transition to what appears to be vitreous clay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull back just a little bit, and we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and pulled back just a little bit. We pulled back into our plant area, and we did mark it with the red flag at approximately 2 foot 5 inches deep. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. And as we push out, we do transition from cast iron waste line to vitreous clay sewer line. As you can see in this joint here, we'll pull back just a little bit. See in this joint here, we do have some root intrusion in that joint there. Fairly large root intrusion coming in around the 6 o'clock, going all the way up and around to about the 12 o'clock area. And a little more root intrusion coming in on the about 3 o'clock. So again, we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out slowly. What are you doing? We'll pull back a little bit. We're making a little bit of a turn. Continue to push out. Pull back. Take a look at that joint as we pull, and that joint appears to be in fair condition. We'll push in slowly so we can see the joints. Coming up on our next joint there, and as you can see in that next joint there, we do have a large root intrusion. It does appear that we do have possibly a crack or break at just behind the joint there. You can see that there's a large crack in that joint as well. We'll pull back just a little bit. You can see that we do have a crack in that joint as well. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we're coming up on our next joint. And we're going to push in just a little bit. Take a good look. And you can see at this joint as well, we do have a crack in this joint too. And there's a section of vitreous clay there at the bottom, right around the 7 o'clock area, that appears to be broke. You can see that that's completely chipped out there. So again, we'll continue to push out. And we'll push in slowly. Again, a little bit of a crack in that joint as well, from about the 9 o'clock going up and around to about the 7 o'clock. We'll pull back just a little bit. You can see there, we do have a crack there. So again, we'll continue to push out. And as we come up on the next joint, we do have another large root intrusion in that joint as well, from about the 12 o'clock, coming all the way down to about the 6 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to push out. And coming up on the next joint, another root intrusion in that joint as well, around the 9 o'clock area. Again, we'll continue to push out. And we got more root intrusion in this joint as well. So again, we'll continue to push out. pull back, take a good look at that joint. That joint appears to be in fair condition. And we got more root intrusion coming in at that joint. It does appear to have possibly a crack here right around the 6 o'clock going up until about the 9 o'clock. We'll push in slowly, take a good look. Yeah, you can see that we do have a crack in that joint as well. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to push out. So as we push out, you can see that we do have a large root intrusion in this joint here. We'll pull back just a little bit. And you can see that it's catching a lot of the toiletry and debris in that area. You can see from about the 6 going all the way up until around about the 9 o'clock. So again, we're just going to continue to push out. And more root intrusion in those joints as well. So we'll continue to push out. We'll pull back a little bit. It does appear to have possibly a break or a large offset in that joint there from about the 6 o'clock going all the way up and around to about the 12 o'clock. So again, we'll pull back here. You can see that joint there. Does appear to have a large break in that joint there. But again, we'll go ahead and continue to push out. Coming up on our next joint. That joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. We'll continue to push out. Coming up on our next joint. That joint appears to be in fair condition. And we'll pull back just a little bit more. We got a little bit of an offset in our joint here from about the 12 o'clock going down to about the 6 o'clock. Again, we'll continue to push out. We'll make a little bit of a turn. And we drop down into our city sewer tie-in. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Okay, again, as I mentioned, we went ahead and pushed all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull back. We're going to push into our city sewer and just rinse our camera lens off, see if we can get our camera lens nice and clear.
Get in there? I can't see.
Okay, again, as I mentioned, we went ahead and pushed all the way into our city sewer tie-in. And as you can see, the water is flowing beneath us. That is our city sewer tie-in. And we're going to pull back slowly so we can take a good look at our saddle as we pull back. This is our saddle. And we're going to continue to pull back slowly. Our saddle appears to be in fair condition. We do have a little bit of an offset as we pull back in this area here. You can see we've got a little bit of concrete overpour in that joint there. A little bit of an offset. But again, we'll continue to pull back. And that joint appeared to be in fair condition. So again, we'll continue to pull back. The majority of the joints in the lateral and the vitreous clay lateral all appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. What we're going to do is we're going to pull back to approximately 60 feet on our camera monitor. And right in that area, once we come back onto the property, is where we start to get some of our root intrusions. All these joints here we did view on the way out. So again, we'll continue to pull back. Again, all those joints appear to be in fair, maintainable condition. A little bit of root intrusion in that joint, but again, nothing major. And we make a little transition here. As we make a turn, you can see that we're transitioning here, and we do have a large root intrusion. So we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked this area just to the right of the driveway in the grass next to the sidewalk with a red flag at approximately 5 foot 8 inches deep. And again, as you can see here, we do have a fairly large offset. And what appears to be a break just behind the offset, right, starting around the 6 o'clock, and we do have a root intrusion as well. So again, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. As we pull back, we got multiple large root intruded joints throughout. You can see that joint there is just still holding a lot of toiletry, a lot of debris is being held up in those root intrusions. And again, in this joint here, you can see we have a crack in that joint as well, and root intrusion coming in from the top around the 12 o'clock. And we'll continue to pull back. And as we pull back to that joint there, you can see push back in. As we push in a little bit, that joint appeared to be in fair condition. We'll continue to pull back. And we got more root intrusion coming into that joint as well. And you do have another crack behind the joint there, from about another crack there in that joint there as well, from about the 3 o'clock going up and around to about the 9 o'clock area. So again, continue to pull back. And again, as we pull back, we got more root intrusion in that area. We'll pull back slowly, take a good look. Keep going. And we'll continue to pull back. And again, as we pull back, you got another large root intrusion in this joint here, right around the 3 o'clock area. So again, we do have multiple large root intrusions throughout as we pull back onto the property. And you can see we do have another break in this joint here. It's a full diameter coming up from about the 3 o'clock going all the way up and around to about the 12 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back. And we'll push back in a little bit. And you can see in this joint as well, we do have another crack in that joint as well. You can see a section of the vitreous clay is broken at the bottom here, right around the 6 o'clock area. That section there appears to be broken. So again, we'll continue to pull back. And again, another large root intrusion in that joint there at the 3 o'clock. So again, continue to pull back. And we'll pull back slowly. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. Again, it looks like it's missing a little bit of vitreous clay there right around the 4 o'clock area. Again, we'll continue to pull back. And we're making a little bit of a turn. And what we're going to do is we're going to pause here for a moment. We're going to run a little bit of water throughout the house. Again, so we did flush the water, the restroom on the right-hand side of the house. So it does appear just to be a rolled fitting. So we're going to push back in just a little bit. And you can see here in this joint, just in the joint up in front of us, we can see that we do have a large offset in that joint as well. So we'll continue to pull back slowly. As we pull back slowly, it does appear that we do have some more root intrusion in this joint as well, right around the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock area. So again, we'll continue to pull back. We transition back into to our cast iron waistline. And again, we did mark that area with the red flag at the front of the house, just to the left of the front door in the plant area. So we do have some cast iron waistline here. The cast iron waistline does appear to have some buildup and some scaling throughout, but it is period of the home. And we'll continue to pull back. We make a transition back into our black KBS waistline. Got a little bit of a gap there, but again, this is just a clean out, access to the clean out. So again, we'll just continue to pull back, and we're going to pull up and out of our clean out, and that will conclude our video waste and sewer line inspection.